This is Week in One, a brand new show that brings you up to speed on all the important stories of the past week. Now, South Africa's nuclear power plans were clarified this week. There were suggestions that President Zuma's recent visit to Russia was to sign and seal a multi-billion rand nuclear power deal. This week, government brought some new light onto the matter, denying that a deal had been signed, saying only a framework agreement was in place.
Government is shopping for 9,600 megawatts of nuclear power.
The entire nuclear value chain. That is what South Africa is looking for in terms of expanding our nuclear program. The localization of the manufactured components. Because as South Africa, we're looking to create jobs, we're looking to establish industries through the rollout.
But the Energy Department is adamant no deal has been signed yet, and that the partnership with Russia is nothing more than a framework agreement.
Similar agreements will be signed with various other countries and vendors in the months to come. These agreements set out potential framework and cooperation that each country foresees where it or have to be to participate in the African nuclear build program.
Anti-nuclear activists claim that this type of power is both dangerous and expensive. Other critics have warned that it opens up the potential for corruption in what could be South Africa's most expensive acquisition to date.
The government is committed to ensure that a new nuclear build program is undertaken in a fair, competitive and cost-effective manner. No information relevant to the public will be withheld from the South African population.
Despite this, officials remain tight-lipped on the details of the Russia agreement. Leranzo Themba, Pretoria.
And now to some not-so-peaceful Nobel laureates. This week saw Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu furious over the treatment of the Dalai Lama. The Tibetan spiritual leader's battle to get a South African visa has led to the cancellation of the World Summit of Nobel Peace Laureates, due to be held in Cape Town in a fortnight's time. International Relations says the Dalai Lama was not denied a visa. He cancelled his application. But the Peace Laureates were not impressed.
It's the largest gathering of Nobel Peace Prize winners held every second year. This year would have been the first time the event would be held in Africa. But now another venue will have to be found.
Because of our useless government's denial of a visa to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, we're not able to host it in Cape Town, so we'll host it in an alternative venue. So Cape Town will still be represented at the venue, at the other host city, together with that host mayor.
Even before de Lille announced the postponement, several high-profile Nobel laureates announced they would boycott the conference if the Dalai Lama was prohibited from attending. This is the third time the Dalai Lama's attempts to visit South Africa have not materialized. Breaking his silence over government's apparent refusal to grant the spiritual leader a visa, Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu has not minced his words. In a statement, Tutu says, "The Nobel Summit in Cape Town, the first to be held on our continent, was meant to celebrate Madiba. His own comrades have spat in his face, refusing to see him honoured by the holders of the blue ribbon of awards and honours." He goes on to say, "I am ashamed to call this lick-spittle bunch my government." Speaking from India, the Dalai Lama is reported to have accused the South African government of bullying tactics, saying he had worked hard to resolve the issue. But the South African government maintains the visa application was withdrawn before it could be processed, and now considers the matter closed. Lester Kivet, Cape Town.
All right, let's move from cancelled conferences to cancelled television shows. Some 8 million viewers had to say a temporary goodbye to the country's most popular soapie this week. Generations will be off air for 2 months. 16 cast members, you'll remember, were fired in August after a pay and royalties dispute. The production team now has 2 months to relaunch the drama. My colleague Gareth Edwards spoke to Thato Molamu, one of the 16 actors who was sacked.
Did you ever in your career think you'd be sitting here talking about the end of something like Generations?
Not about the end of Generations, but about issues that artists need to also be recognized for the work that they do, and also appreciated for the work that they do, and also acknowledging that the industry needs to change, especially when it comes to the acknowledgement of the contribution of artists in this sector, and also the fact that the industry serves, the entertainment industry being that it also benefits the economy of the country, and well celebrated figures also play a role in becoming role models and also influencing good change in the country that we live in.
How did it go so wrong?
You know, when the other party doesn't want to come to that party to say, okay, how can we fix this? You know, because Generations has really been one of those fundamental changing programs in this country. And I just think also sometimes also greed also sometimes comes into play. I mean, if you've been the one monopoly player for 20 years, sometimes you tend to think that, you know what, change is not inevitable. Change is always inevitable. It's one of those things that's going to happen.
I believe that Mr. Vundla is auditioning for new actors already. You're going to be replaced along with the 15 others.
Yes. They have decided to re-audition. And also just to clarify, nobody ever went back and called the production company to say that we want to come back. It's the opposite. The production company themselves called on certain actors, trying to divide us, trying to make sure that, okay, who can we get back? Who plays a critical role? Who has more audience pull? And it's just so that they know it's a united front. The Magnificent 16 is saying that if there will be no change, we will not come back. Because and also we're willing to come back only if things changed. We're not willing to come back because of now we are saying that we are out of jobs.
Okay, from drama to hysteria. A story that had us all talking this week was the very latest installment in the curious goings-on at a certain church near Pretoria. Pastor Lesego Daniel first got his followers to eat grass. I wonder if you remember that. Now he has them drinking petrol. Our reporter Sikalelwa Khea decided to attend one of the services at the Rabboni Christ Ministries.
Did you enjoy the testimonies? Did you believe that petrol can deliver a person?
Packed to capacity, or here to receive the word from the man they affectionately call men of God.
Even when you drink poison, it will lose its power because it's entering a no-go area.
Pastor Lesego Daniel is known to instruct his followers to eat grass and send them into what appears to be states of hypnosis.
I believe I'm in trouble because of you. And this trouble makes me to rise high because of you. It's because of you. It's because of you. You are praying a lot. And I pray that you must be fueled to pray more.
But the media reports and criticism haven't deterred his followers.
I'm here to share with you my testimony about healing through petrol. One day at night I went to sleep and I actually slept facing down on my stomach. That's when I noticed that I'm sleeping on my stomach but there are no pain, so they're just gone. And I want to thank God for the man of God. It shall be more terrible than this. Thank you. Through that, the teachings that he teaches us, even through these media reports that are coming out, we've been taught a lot of, obedience, love. To love our enemies, to love those who persecute us, to love those who hate us, who say whatever.
Despite public criticism, congregants believe Pastor Lesego Daniel is indeed a man of God. And as long as they continue to see the fruits of his message in their lives, they say they'll continue flocking here every Sunday. Sikelelwa Khea, Mount Rabboni, Pretoria.
This is Week in One. In just a moment, back with a look at the top stories trending on the internet this week.